Most of my bird watching is done with Chicago BIPOC Birders. We are a group of Black, Indigenous, and people of color who enjoy birds. And so we organize events for our communities, and I have organized several events with the group.
To join us. So thank you all for being here. Is this anyone's first time birding? Woohoo! Awesome!
Oftentimes, the folks that are coming bird watching are very new to bird watching, and they come to our events because they identify with the affinity group.
Historically, birding is male and white predominant. And so being in such a diverse community here in Chicago, we can open up and have this hobby become more accessible, I think is one of the most important parts.
When I'm with BIPOC birders, like we can be loud, we can laugh, we always have food, which is great.
Birding with the BIPOC birders has been like much more patient, like much more casual. We still know our stuff, but there's not like a pressure to perform expertise or something like that. Like you could come knowing nothing and still be a welcome part of like the birding group. They're not gonna get mad at you if you're pointing out a pigeon, or if you think the pigeon was a falcon, or like you thought this warbler was this other warbler. Like they'll just be like, oh, like, I don't know, it could be. I'm like, we all know, we all have valid things to contribute.
We bring binoculars for folks. One of the big accessibility or barriers to accessing birding is the equipment, which is really minimal, but can be expensive or overwhelming to figure out what kind of binoculars you need. So we fundraise and have a stash of binoculars that we bring to all of our events to allow people to use them.
I just think that there's that extra bit of care because there's an understanding of how nature spaces have often been something that's like shut out to like people of color. There's always somebody like lugging around a scope. There are always guides, and either physical guides or like people guiding you, and it's just so accessible. Like if you've never birded before, it's hard. Like it's not easy to like find with your eyes and then to look past the leaves. It makes a huge difference for me.
And we also move like way slower. Like today, we only walked like, I don't know, maybe a half a mile. But when you're by yourself, you're kind of like zooming and you don't get to see everything that's there because you only have like one set of eyes. So it really expands like the amount of birds you're able to see, and like people have different like talents and abilities about spotting the birds, and like especially with bird songs, but you're also doing it in very good company. You should come just because we're like nice. Like I've never met a mean person here. I've never felt like judged.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to discover more hobbies and visit notjustahobby.com to learn more.
The downy woodpecker just landed up in front of us.